So, you've built this incredible AI model. Now what? How do you actually get it into the hands of your users? That's the million-dollar question, right? Well, today we're diving into the tool that has pretty much become the definitive answer.
So let's just cut to the chase. Are you trying to build the next great AI application? Maybe it's a killer image generator, a super smart chatbot, or some kind of complex data analysis tool.
Whatever it is, you are going to need a modern, high-performance API. And look, this isn't just a nice-to-have, it's absolutely essential. It is the critical bridge between that powerful AI brain you've built and the people who are actually going to use it.
And that leads us right to our big topic. Why is this so critical, especially for AI? Well, with this explosion of new models, there's a huge, massive need for a tool to build those API bridges, a tool that's fast, super efficient, and doesn't slow developers down. This is the exact problem FastAPI was born to solve.
But to really appreciate why FastAPI is such a game changer, we have to understand the problem it solved. Before FastAPI came along, building an API in Python often meant making a really frustrating trade-off. For years, Python developers were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, you had these really minimal frameworks like Flask, which gave you freedom, but then left you to build all the critical stuff yourself. On the other hand, you had these heavyweights like Django, which are awesome for entire websites, but total overkill for just a nimble API. This meant you were often stuck writing documentation by hand, struggling to handle a lot of users at once, and manually checking every single piece of data that came in. It was slow, it was tedious, and honestly, it was super prone to errors.
Now, what's so great about this slide is how perfectly it captures that whole situation. Using Flask was like riding a bicycle. It's simple, it gets you there, but you wouldn't take it on the highway. Django was like a big city bus. It's powerful and can carry a lot, but it's way too big and complex if all you need is a quick ride across town. And then there's FastAPI. It's the Tesla. Modern, ridiculously fast, packed with exactly the features you need, and built for performance right from the start. So let's meet the hero of our story. FastAPI arrived on the scene as the modern solution, specifically designed to wipe out all those old problems we just talked about. At its core, FastAPI is a Python web framework built for one main purpose: building incredibly high-performance APIs. But the truly brilliant part is how it does this. It doesn't invent some complex new system. Instead, it cleverly leans on a modern Python feature called type hints, letting you get speed, safety, and documentation just from writing standard Python code that developers already know and write.
Okay, so let's dive into this a little deeper. How does it actually deliver on all these promises? Well, it really comes down to 4 key components that work together beautifully.
First up, you've got path operations. This is where the magic really begins. You write a standard Python function, and then with a simple one-line decorator on top, which is like giving your code a superpower, something like @app.post, and boom. FastAPI instantly turns that function into a live API endpoint. It really is that simple.
And this slide just shows it perfectly. That little prompt string part isn't just a comment for other developers. It's a command. FastAPI reads that and automatically enforces that any incoming data for prompt must be a string. You get data validation for free just by writing clean modern Python.
The second key is Pydantic models. This takes that data validation idea and puts it on steroids. You can define the exact shape of the data you expect to get or to send out. This means no more bugs from weird or unexpected data formats. Your API becomes robust and reliable, and it all happens automatically.
Third, and this is absolutely huge for AI, is native async support. AI models can sometimes take a moment to generate a response. In a traditional framework, everything would just freeze while it's waiting. But FastAPI is built to handle thousands of these waiting requests at the same time without even breaking a sweat, which leads to incredible performance. And finally, the feature every single developer falls in love with, automatic documentation. As you write your code, FastAPI is in the background, building a beautiful, interactive documentation page for you. You can even use this page to test out your API live, right in the browser. It's a massive, massive time saver.
So, the crucial question is, with all this power, how do you know if FastAPI is the right choice for your project?
This guide here makes it really clear. If you're building a Python API, especially for AI, machine learning, or any high-performance backend, the answer is a resounding yes. But if your goal is a full traditional website with pages and user accounts, a framework like Django might be a better fit. And of course, it's the perfect tool for the job, but only if the job is actually building an API. And its adoption really shows its success. It's become the go-to tool for AI developers and machine learning engineers. But it's also critical for production teams and startups who need to build reliable, high-performance systems and do it quickly.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's distill all of this down to the most important things you need to remember.
First, FastAPI is the new standard. It's the modern default choice for building APIs in Python, especially in the AI world. Second, it's built for speed. Its asynchronous nature is a perfect match for the workload of AI applications. And third, it provides an amazing developer experience. Things that used to take days, like writing documentation and validation, now happen automatically.
And this really says it all. The ultimate benefit of FastAPI isn't just one single feature, it's the combined effect of everything. You can go from an idea to a secure, documented, high-performance, production-ready API in a remarkably short amount of time.
So I'll leave you with this question. Your AI model is ready. The only thing standing between it and the world is an API. With tools like FastAPI, the answer to how fast can you ship has fundamentally changed. Now go build something amazing.